Do you have difficulty with math? Worry no more, because I have a solution for you. Let's have math classes with Mamshi. See you in class! Class Week 5A. Our topic will be about problem solving on inverse functions. So the objective of our class is, at the end of this discussion, the students will be able to solve problems involving inverse functions. So let's start. Let's recall inverse functions. Let f be a one-to-one function, and the inverse of f denoted by f raised to negative 1, or f inverse, is function with domain B and range A defined by f inverse of y equals x, if and only if f of x equals y for any y in B. So a function f is one-to-one if no two ordered pairs in the function have the same ordinate and different abscissa. We have already discussed this in our past lesson, so let's just go to the steps in problem solving. So the steps in solving the inverse is, first is you have to set f of x to y. Next is interchange your x and y variables. Number 3, solve for y in terms of x, and the resulting equation of y will be replaced by f raised to negative 1, or that is understood as f inverse. So the concepts of inverse functions can be applied in solving our word problems involving reversible process. So let's have our example 1. The function I of x is equal to 2x plus 8 converts a man's t-shirt size x in United States to the equivalent size I in Italy. What is the equivalent US shirt size for a size 16.5 Italian shirt? Construct an inverse function to determine the result. So all we have to do is just write I of x equals 2x plus 8. Notice that we can write this function as y equals 2x plus 8. Then you have to interchange your y and x. So this is your step 1. Step 2 is interchange your y and x. So we have x equals 2y plus 8. Then solve y in terms of x. So all you have to do is transfer your 2 on the left. We have negative 2y equals, your x will be right here. So we have negative x plus 8. Divide both sides by negative 2. So our y will be equal to x minus 8 over 2. This will be the value of our y. And so, for our I of x inverse, that will be I of x inverse, that's equal to x minus 8 over 2. So, what is the equivalent of US size shirt for a size of 16.5 Italian shirt? So, for if I of x is a function that converts man's t-shirt size in United States to Italian shirt. So, if we have 16.5, so for Italian shirt, we have I inverse equals 16.5 minus 8 all over 2. So that is equal to 8.5 over 2, or that is equal to 4.25. This will be the size for Italian shirt. Okay, for the US shirt. Okay, so let's continue. For example 2, the relative value of currencies fluctuates every day. So when this problem was written, 1 US dollar was worth 50.53 Philippine peso. So letter A, find a function that gives the Philippine peso a value f of x of US dollars. So the Philippine peso will be f of x equals 50 50.53 multiplied by the number of US dollars. Then next is we have to find the inverse of the function. So this is for letter A. So the inverse of the function will be y equals 50.53x. Then interchange, we have x equals 50.53y. Then solve for y in terms of x. Divide both sides by 50.53. So if you cancel this, we can have y equals x over 50.53. Okay, so that therefore the inverse of that function will be x all over 50.53. Now, let's find the answer for letter C. Okay, how much US dollars would 30,000 Philippine currency be? So, that will be F inverse of X equals 30,000 divided by 50.53. So, the answer will be 593.71. 593.71 US dollars. Okay, that will be the answer for letter C. Okay, let's proceed to our enrichment activity. So a particular breed, its breed of tilapia has its weight in kilograms related to its length in centimeters modeled by W equals 0.0034 length squared. So explain why the function is one-to-one even if it is a quadratic function. As you can see, a quadratic function is not one-to-one because it doesn't pass the vertical and horizontal line test. However, okay, it passes the vertical line test, but it does not pass the horizontal line test, which is a requirement for a function to being one-to-one. But if you can consider the L here, we can only take positive values and we can never take negative values for length. That is why there is only one quantity for the length that corresponds also to one quantity for the weight. That is why we consider it as a one-to-one function. So let's continue. Let's find the inverse of the function. So to find the inverse of the function is we have 0.00324 L squared equals W. Then find W in terms of L. So that is to divide the constant 0.00324 with both sides of your equation. And so if you can solve this, your L will be equal to L squared will be equal to W divided by 0.00324. And to find the value of L, that is L equals the square root of W over the constant, which is 0.00324. And this is the inverse of the weight. Okay? Don't get wrong. This is the inverse of the weight. The length is the inverse of its weight. And so, approximate the length of a single fish if it weighs 400 grams. So all we're going to do is substitute 400 to the equation. But then, since weight is in kilograms, take note that the weight is in kilograms and 400 grams is equivalent to 0.4 kilograms. So, just substitute that to the equation. The length will be square root of 0.4 divided by 0.00324. Okay, 0.00324. Then if we are going to solve that, we will arrive to the answer, which is 11.11 centimeters. That will be the length of a single fish having the weight of 400 grams. Okay, let's continue. Women's shoe sizes. The following table lists equivalent shoes for women's shoes in United States and Philippines. As you can see, the US size is 4 and the Philippines is 36. 5 37, 638. You will notice that they have one common difference here and one common difference here. Okay, but then the number to be added, the number that should be added to 4 to get 36 must be 32. Same thing here. 5 plus 32 is equal to 37. So, letter A, determine the linear function S that can be used to convert US women's shoe size X to its equivalent Philippine shoe size. So, for A, we have S of X, the Philippine shoe size, equals the US shoe size plus 32. Okay, so the US shoe size, that is your X. Okay, that will be X plus 32. So let's continue. For B, find the inverse of the function and explain how it can be used. So the inverse would be of the function must be, so 32 will be put here. So that's S of X. Okay, again. Let's follow the solution first. So we have y equals x plus 32. And so x equals y plus 32. And x minus 32 equals y. And so the inverse of the function must be x minus 32. Suppose your x will be the Philippine size. So if we try to solve it, we have 36 minus 32, we get 4. 37 minus 32, we get 5. So how it can be used? It can be used if we want to convert the Philippine size to US size. So this one is given as US size to Philippine size, and this equation will be from Philippine size to US size. Okay. And number 3, the relationship between Kelvin and Celsius scales is given by K equals C plus 273. Determine the value of Celsius when K is equal to 345. So notice that Kelvin and Celsius are inverse functions. And so, in order to find the Celsius, we have K equals C plus 273. Then, subtract 273 on both sides of the equation. We have K minus 273 equals C. This will be the formula in finding the Celsius. And so, C equals 345 minus 273. So, C is equal to 72. So, now we know that the Kelvin, which is 345, will be equivalent to 72 degrees Celsius. Okay? So, that's it. We are done with Quarter 1, Week 5A. For those who are new to my channel, just subscribe to my channel, click subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be updated of my latest videos. Thank you for watching, and I hope you learned a lot from me.